What's up, you guys? We're going to do a 15-10. Opponent is rated 1562. And they're from Indonesia, and we've got a Sicilian. So the question is, do I go with what I know with this Grand Prix setup, or do I go for a Smith-Morra F4? I think I'm going to go Grand Prix, because my opponent is pretty strong compared to me. So okay, so they're going for this setup. I can play F4. It allows the knight to come into the centre if it wants, but black is more likely to continue to develop rather than move the developed piece twice. There we go. How's everyone doing? Hope you're doing good. Alright, okay. E6. Blocks the bishop. Okay, we obviously develop the knight. Get some control over the centre. Prepare to castle kingside. We castle kingside. I've got an OTB game this evening, so fingers crossed. And I'm away at a festival again this weekend, so apologies in advance if you miss out on some videos. If you're like me, if Chess Boot Camp is your daily morning coffee routine, like I watch Naroditsky if he's posted. If he's posted a speedrun game, I don't watch all of his videos, but the speedruns are some of the best I think if you're an intermediate player, Grandmaster Naroditsky's speedruns, bang on. Okay. Slowish move. H6. Preventing the knight from coming in. So what we need to say to ourselves, okay, thing is, he's not going to fianchetto the bishop. We know this anyway because the bishop's already gone to e7. So the knight's probably, well, if the knight comes out, it's going to have to go there. So I think we can play queen e1 anyway. Maybe with the idea of, I mean, we're not going to be attacking down the h-file. This is the point. It's not only about attacking. Another novel idea in chess is to pay some attention to what your opponent wants to do and trying not to get checkmated yourself as well. So I'm trying to bring that a little bit into my game. Because you can't win if you lose. So this is a odd looking pawn structure. He's kind of holding back a little bit over central control, you know. I've got these two pawns here controlling 4 squares in his half of the board, right? My knight also controls some squares, my bishop controls some squares, my queen also controls squares in his half of the board. He's controlling 2 squares, really, and this one here with his bishop and queen. So he's kind of a bit reserved, holding back, backward stance. You've got to be careful with the backward stance. You could have that front foot just flick up. Someone left a note in the comments saying, could I do a video on the English opening? And much as I would love to, because I would love to have like a full English repertoire, obviously evoking the full English breakfast, which is one of the culinary pinnacles of human evolution. And I always thought if I ever had a folk band, I would definitely want to call it the Full English. Right? That probably doesn't travel so well outside of these islands, but I can't do anything about that. But yeah, to have an opening called the Full English would be wonderful. And I was looking at one. I was looking at one with Queen C2. So the English opening is C4, then let's say they play like E5. Queen C2 actually does quite well for white. But it goes off in all kinds of directions. And I don't know. I don't know if it's as spicy and interesting as all that now. So Queen g3 is an idea already. He could put his bishop here. I think Queen g3 makes a lot of sense, you know. What's the purpose of this move? I mean, he's got more control over here. Does he want to push? But I push. I'm going to play Queen g3. A really good general beginner tip, by the way, is to pay far too little attention to these opening moves. Okay, so there we go. So his bishop's now moved twice. The bishop is on this long diagonal, so we need to give that some mind. Now, however, we are castled, so one obvious idea would be to consider e5. Now I say consider because we shouldn't just see a move and go, oh look, a move, push, right? Don't do that. We attack the bishop. This is a fork, so this means black has to respond. Now, what's he going to do? He can't push the pawn. Right, d5 is not playable because he loses his bishop. If pawn takes, most likely. I mean, we can also consider bishop moves. Well, he ain't going there, he ain't going there. So is he going to move all the way back? Well, that's not great because the whole point of putting the bishop there in the first place is to defend this pawn on g7. So I don't think he's going to do that. So I think he's going to take. Right, balance probability. But he's got 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces looking at that square. So here he takes. If I take, knight takes, knight takes. Bishop could take, still defending g7. Does that help us? I don't know. Okay, how can we raise some more pressure onto that? Well, knight d2, knight c4 is the thought. And knight d2 I know is not a bad move, right? It's not really going to... He says this and then opponent comes back, you know, turns around and punishes me. But here's the point. I've got an idea. And I'm not necessarily banking everything on that idea coming through. He's not going to push d5 because I'm going to push here, force the bishop away and then win the pawn because the bishop can only move this away, right? If there's a pawn here, he can't move there. So this is out and that's out. He can't go that way, you know? So he would like, you know, maybe he'd like to open up in the middle. Also notice his knight is very cramped. His knight only has 1 square. So I would not be at all surprised to see this move. There we go. Okay, now knight here. But what then if he pushes d5? I might do this anyway, actually. Pushes d5, I push e5. He takes my knight, I take his bishop. I'm attacking the knight, I'm attacking this pawn. It's all not looking healthy at all on the king side for black. If he does that and I do this, and in fact he can't move the bishop now. This knight move, and I failed to note that on the previous move. This knight move means his bishop is out of squares. Can't go there because queen takes, can't go there because pawn takes, right? So this is now becomes a more a more pressing problem for him. So I think this would spell trouble, actually. So I'm just now kind of rehearsing ideas that I need to bring into my game tonight. We're playing at Barnsley. And last time I played at Barnsley, I won. Can't remember too much about the game. No. I still haven't gone through this one from the other day because it's just a bit painful, really. 32 moves, got checkmated, got punked. But I'd spent about 33 moves playing really quite solidly. It was against the d4. Oh, hello. Okay. Against the d4. Yeah, toughie it was. Now here, okay. I didn't consider that one. But now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 attackers. Excuse me. He's got 3 defenders, right? 4. That's what I was missing. Okay. So takes. But even so, opening up the centre can only really be good for me. Can't it? Takes. I take pawn, he takes knight, I take... No, it doesn't work. I can take once. And then pawn, I think, will... In fact, he could take it however he wants, can't he? He could take with a bishop. And that attacks my queen and also defends g7. So, yeah, that was inaccurate, I think, from my point of view. Right, so this is playable because my knight actually defends b2. And I've got a feeling. Let's say, what if he does do this? I just take it. Okay, I'm gonna open up. I'm not too scared of the knight. Right. So knight didn't take. It was pawn. Right now. He's still got this issue that the bishop is actually kind of out of squares. I mean, here I win a pawn, right? Takes. Also, the bishop this pawn is now blocked the long diag, so that's fine. That's cool. I've got 3 attackers, 3 defenders. I really want a piece of that bishop, and there's a piece of me that's starting to toy with ideas like exchange sack here. Even so, though, knight there is pretty good, right? Now here he trades off, opens up the rook, happy days. Yeah? Do you see what I'm doing? I'm considering multiple angles. It's like you pick it up. You pick up a candidate move and you look at it from different sides going, oh, it hasn't really got a bad side, that move, you know? Now it doesn't mean that the first idea that you anticipate is the one that's going to pan out, because you don't know what your opponent's going to do. That's the whole joy of chess. We take it in turns to move, you know. But for me, putting this knight here, trades, even pawn takes or maybe rook takes is okay, because he can't really. Well, you know, he I'm saying he can't really castle. He kind of could. Oh no, he can't. I take on here, and this pawn will be pinned. So you know, this is making life tough for black. Black now can't castle. Well, I mean, he can, but I've got bishop takes h6 immediately. This pawn will be pinned by the queen. That pawn falls, and it's really not looking great. So maybe I will play a slow variation, or British Grand Prix, as Grandmaster Williams has coined it. And Harry Clayton is using his time. I'm on my 15-18 at the moment. I've kind of completely lost track of my ratings. I think it was like 1350 at Blitz not long ago, and then my highest in Blitz is 1599. I was really sharp. I'm still working on my nutrition and so on and so forth. All right. That doesn't work. Queen takes now. Knight in here. Takes. I'm just going to throw the knight in straight away now. I'm not worried about this. This is a pressing issue, right? Knight takes here with check. It's either going to force the king to move, or he has to give up the bishop, and then my queen's up in his stuff. And that's not pretty. Also now, notice I have 2 knights looking at d6. The only piece defending that is the black queen. So I throw a knight in here, king has to move. Ain't no question about it, right? Which way he goes, I'm not sure. Okay, there we go. Now, I'm pretty sure I have to take with the pawn. I don't see any value in this, and it invites the knight in. If I take with the pawn, the knight can't take because he loses the knight, so... Okay, in he comes. So what's he doing? Well, clearly he's looking at c2. Now I happen to know we have a resource in the British Grand Prix, which is to drop this bishop back to d1 in the case of this attack. This pawn is defended twice. See, I can play this now, but I'm just having a think. Okay, let's play. I'll probably push c3, kick the knight off. Oh, hang on. Ah, that's good. He's got this, hasn't he? He's going to win the pawn. I missed that. So this was something I could have calculated this. Takes, takes, there. Centralizes his knight, yeah. So now I'm expecting one of these knights, possibly this knight, to take here. I'm going to be down a pawn. Is it within my capability to have read that deep into it? Yep. Why didn't I do it? Couldn't be asked. However, it's removing a pawn, so that means there's no white pawns on the e file or the f file. And look where his king still is. So it may not be the end of the world. Also, I've got two attacks on here. Now, my immediate issue will be that whichever knight takes, my queen's going to be under attack, so I might even drop the queen all the way back here. I mean, we should also probably consider the option of sacking the exchange. But I don't know. See, also, let's say this knight takes. Its only defender is this knight. So let's say I play like queen here, right? Attacking this knight. It's defended only by this guy here, right? Now, my next turn, I push c3. And how does he not lose a knight? He can't go to c2 because bishop takes. He can't go here, you know. Can't go there. Can't go there. He can't go here if his buddy's on it. So he has to retreat, but then my queen would take the knight on this square. That's a thought. He's taken a long time to think, though. I kind of like this move. So queen g4 or queen h3. I think queen g4 for some reason. Keeps it looking at this sensitive pawn, which locks this bishop. Having said that, the bishop hasn't got an awful lot of hope. Again, he can't castle, because I grabbed this pawn for free, because it would pin that pawn. He's under 6 minutes, though. Unless he's seen something I haven't in this position. I'm also happy I've got the bishop pair as well, which is not a bad thing. Is it worth a pawn? Probably not. But the more the game opens up, the more valuable it could prove to be. I also have a safe king, which is in my favour. I hope he's not bailed on me. We had somebody bail yesterday in a 15-10. It's nearly down to 5 minutes now. So I had somebody in comments as well recently said, I'm like 1,000, how can you, what should I do to get to 1,200 plus? And my instant, it's almost the stock response for me now is, okay, there we go. And I'm going to play this Yeah. So 4 minutes 50. My response is, slow down. Right, you've got to play your best chess. So these 15 plus 10 games, 30-minute games, whatever. Okay, that is slightly unexpected. I'm inclined to kick this knight away anyway, and then maybe even this. That would hang the bishop. The bishop's now not defended, so we kick the knight. I've already established this is playable, right? Can't go there or there because my bishop. In fact, always when you've got a bishop or a queen in this pattern with a knight, you know that the bishop or queen controls all of that knight's advanced squares. So he's going to go back here, here, or here. Got me flies back, and I haven't got my badminton racket out, have I yet? It's on 4 minutes 20 now, and look, he's still not castled. Okay, so let's think about this. Let's say the knight comes back here, which is to be expected, right? It defends this pawn, it blocks the king, it's central, it's the most central, arguably, move. I mean, this controls 2 central squares. Ooh, hello. That's interesting. Okay, I have this. Oh, I can go here. There's a load of squares I can't go. Obviously, any square with a piece on it. There, right? Which leaves us with 1, 2. Oh, no, not that one, because of pawn. Okay, so we've got a choice of this or this. I'm thinking e4. His knight then still has a problem, and I know his knight can't move and attack my queen. Excuse me. Right, so now this knight has to move. And again, we still have options of, of sack the exchange, take. Puts pressure on the bishop. The bishop might have to move. Queen can't go here. Queen could go there. His clock's definitely... I'm just under 10 minutes. He's now looking at 3.5. Notice this bishop is undefended. So that means this knight can't really move. Now might go away. Oh, I have this as well. That pins this knight. And the knight's defended only by the queen. Takes. We attack the bishop. I'm kind of tempted, but this does improve the bishop. Can't play that because I just take it. I'd like to play my bishop like out here, but I can't. So takes, and then I've also got 2 attackers on there. Right, I'm going to throw it in. Right, I've got 2 attackers now on h5. I'm also attacking the bishop. He can't defend both. And if I take on h5 with the bishop, queen defends, assuming his bishop has moved. Okay, so he's defended, right. Now this is where I'd like to use my knight. Now I really want a rook here, so something like this to defend e1. Let's bring this bishop out first, just for a laugh. Then I'm thinking bishop d2, rook e1, pins this pawn on both king and queen. Precarious. Again, this isn't playable because bishop takes. 3 minutes 20, but he has an increment, right? He is 2 pawns up currently. Well, basically he's up in exchange now because I've got the pawn back that I lost, that I was down. So he's up in exchange, which means, so he's got 2 minor pieces, 2 rooks, right? I have 1 rook, but 3 minor pieces. So that's the difference, is the exchange, a rook to a minor piece. The question is, does Hunty have sufficient compensation for being down the exchange. And arguably, I do. I have a castle king. That said, ain't necessarily the safest king in the world, but this h-pawn is isolated as well. Right? In other news, I have the bishop pair. Opponent has one bishop, one knight. So, this knight is also pinned, in an absolute pin on the king. If I choose to take this knight and give up the bishop pair, he recaptures with the b-pawn. He's then got quite fragmented pawns and still a centralized king. So I'm thinking bishop d2 makes a heap of sense. Get my rook on here, push through, bang. You know, ooh, hello. Okay, well you can't take there, can you? If I take here, those pawns are messy, but... Okay, he's down to 2 minutes 10. Here, then push... I think that's the reason he's moved his rook to d8, right? Because he's calculating this. Because no, this pawn will be pinned. If I play rook e1, takes... Yeah, that's what he's worried about. If I take out the knight, actually, that's the thing, isn't it? I take out the knight, he plays pawn here, this pawn's pinned, takes, he needs to be able to recapture, and that's what the rook's there for. Okie dokie. Do I play rook e1 anyway? Or do I play rook f1 and target this bishop? Let's play rook f1. 1 minute 42. Still not worried about this. Still got to check this, you know, every time anything changes. My bishop could come back. My bishop could even, you know, revisit this idea. This is not a bad idea. And I'm slightly nervous about this. You know, let's say he pushes a6. I think my bishop should bounce right back to d1. Okay. Okay, action. This is defended 3 times. Let's throw in this move. Queen defends this pawn, right? Yep. Now this is the way that I mustn't play tonight. Trying to use the clock. When your opponent's got 75 minutes on the clock, it's very rare that you're going to dirty flag them. Cooper, Zara, leave it. So I'm just trying to create problems for him. My knight could swing round. Okay, well this is the threat. But I think his plan is to play rook f6. If he does that, I can put my queen here. He can't block with the... He can block with the queen. So let's say I take... Oh no, but then I could end up hanging my bishop really easily in that case, couldn't I? We just take the rook. Yes, because queen can't... I think that's actually a blunder. Queen can't recapture because it's mate. And there's your time pressure. See? Simple blunder. I bet half of you probably saw that before I did, but don't matter, you know? Okay, quick look at the review. How did we do? Did we play like a 1500? 80 accuracy with a brilliant move. And look at this, we were barely worse. At one point in the game we were worse. The brilliant move was the rook sack, the exchange sack. And I played like a 1700. I'll take that. I will take that. Okay, well let's quickly look. D3 is good. Best move's probably a knight move. It's always a knight move. Oh no. That's interesting, actually. That might be even a line. Right? Huh. It's kind of an Alapin-esque. I mean, it's like half a pawn difference, but you never know. So, you know, what I might do here is then pull up the Lichess Explorer. Let's look at this. Okay, we've got Sicilian D6. Right, Lichess Explorer. This is set to 1800, 2000, 2200. Okay? And I'm just going to see what happens, right? This, there. Now, F4 is the most common move here. H3 is quite winning at 56%. C3 is 50. But C3 is the engine move according to chess.com. The Lichess version of Stockfish, this is 14 plus neural network, says knight F3 here, which doesn't surprise me. Let's go back to the thingy. But I feel like, I don't know, maybe, I don't know what version of Stockfish we're using here, it doesn't really matter. But anyway, this is the move that I play. So there's nothing obvious about that too. Okay, knight F3 is best. And here we work our way into a, yeah, you see H6 it says is good, but it is slow. Queen E1, excellent. Another good move. So with it, okay, Queen G3 is good. Better move here. Developing the knight, I know. But I do like to reserve the option of playing C3. Having said that, that's usually when the bishop is fianchettoed on G7. So C3 is nice because it kind of blunts this bishop and also takes these squares away from this knight as well. Okay, but I do this, attacking the pawn. And that's a mistake. He should have played. Yeah, but you can understand why not. Okay, so this is a miss. So what did I miss? What did I miss? Can't see. Now I know that this knight A3 is an idea. Oh, because I come in here, I'm hitting the queen and this pawn as well. Yeah, that's something to think about. That's nearly a whole pawn difference than moving my knight there. This is good. That's inaccurate. Best move. Good. Okay. I ignored an opportunity to threaten winning a pawn. Yeah. Completes development, connects rooks, attacks an undefended piece, causes opponent a problem. Point taken, fish. Okay. So fish doesn't like this. Fish doesn't like that. I should have gone. Yeah. So this is a mistake, but he does it wrong. So what could he have done? Oh. Okay, so this is the only point in the game where black has a slight edge. And this is a great move, yeah. And bishop d1. See? And I just remember that. And that's one good thing about maintaining your light squared bishop, which you very often don't do in the normal Grand Prix because it gets traded off. You know, because you're going to have this light squared pawn chain, yeah? But here, it's useful. And I got to keep that bishop for later. All right, better move was. Huh, okay, marginal though. I liked that move. That's a mistake. And now I kick the defender. Now there is a second defender with this pawn on g6, but good. And that's brilliant. Very satisfying indeed. Okay, and you see this is the bishop that I didn't trade off earlier on that's now coming in to be useful. Okay, but a better move was... Alright, yeah, putting pressure on f7, yeah. We've talked about that before. It's only half a pawn though. And that was a miss. Okay, attacking the pinned piece and not really threatening there. But that is a good move. What would he have done? You can see there's a whole load of discomfort here from Black's point of view. And it all comes back to this fact that he never castled his king, doesn't it? Okay, but anyway, we didn't do that. I did this. Great move. And that's a mistake. Oh, and that's a miss. Yeah, well, we thought about this, didn't we? Quite a lot. And then they take. And then what? Bishop g5. Okay, bishop g5, and if pushes. Knight takes e5. Because the queen can't take because of that. Because this pawn's pinned. And then it all fell apart. So, there you go. Quite satisfactory, I would say, all in all. And again, like if you need a reminder of the importance of getting your king castled earlier on in the game, then I think this game is a pretty good case study for that. I may have been like down in material at some point, but the point is the pressure against Black's king just forced Black to play a bunch of moves that he really probably didn't want to play, you know? And it's just that kind of balance. It's like, I don't really want to play that, but I have to defend. I don't really want to play that, but, you know? You end up playing a whole load of suboptimal moves. So the player who has the initiative and the advantage and the attacking edge quite often can turn that edge into a positional advantage by forcing suboptimal play from the opponent. So there you go, that's a bit of chess philosophy. All right, let's hope we can roll that over to tonight's game at Barnsley. Wish me luck. Thanks for watching. See you later.